Now, as we have the spring intake with us round the corner, we have a lot of queries coming from a lot of students around in Pakistan, about what the University of Hertfordshire is, what does it offer, what is the eligibility criteria. So today on board we have our guest with us from the UK, from the University of Hertfordshire. We have Miss Leonor Silva. She's a leader and collaborative partnership leader, and she's also the supported distance learning provision, and she's the principal lecturer at Hertfordshire Business School. Welcome, Ms. Leonor. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And then we have Mr. Tim Morgan, who has also visited Pakistan. He visited University of TMUC recently, a few months back, and he's International Partnership Manager at the University of Hertfordshire. How are you, Tim? Early
I'm very
morning.
well. I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well, thank you. Delighted to be here as well.
Thank you. And then we have Ms. Sarina Shirazi. She's the head of department, Business Management and Social Sciences at TMUC, Pakistan. Welcome, Ms. Sarina.
Thank you so much, Shahana.
Now over to Ms. Sarina.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Hello, Tim. Hello, Leonor.
Hello.
And yes, so our students have a lot of questions, especially our potential students. So, Tim, I'd just like to start with you. Can you
Mhm.
brief us about the University of Hertfordshire's ranking and its standing in the UK?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the university itself traces its roots back to the 1940s, and it became a university in 1992. It's in a town called Hatfield, which is about 15 miles north of London, and it's across two big campuses. One in College Lane, where I'm based, and one not too far away on a campus called de Havilland. And so as of last year, I think it had about 25,000 students, including within that it's about 5,000 international students from over 100 different countries. So it's a very diverse university. And ranking wise, the complete university guide ranks the university as 68th and the Times as 88th in the UK. And then when we're looking at global rankings, THE and QS rank the university between 801 and to 1,000, and that's across the world. So gives you an idea of when you're competing with universities across the globe, how good the university is. And we've got a number of partnerships with overseas institutions. My role is across all of those partnerships, and obviously my favourite overseas partnership is with TMUC, who work with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Tim, that was really nice to hear. TNUC right now is offering three degrees rather, from University of Hertfordshire. We have the School of Business, we have the School of Computing, and we're offering laws as well. And we have the School of Education coming ahead as well in near future. So, obviously, University of Hertfordshire is basically one of our main partners over here with us. Now, over to you. When we talk about the School of Business, can you tell us more about, the UX School of Business, and what unique opportunities does it provide for the students over here?
So the School of Business is a diverse school as well. We offer quite a lot of to our students. We have a variety of different services for all the students that are studying, not just on campus, but also overseas. A good example of that is the case, which is basically a support center with specific tutors that guide the students through their academic journey. And a lot of our students at TMUC may experience as well some of the workshops that they put together for the students to prepare them. The business school works as well with local businesses, small and medium enterprises. There's all sorts of different ventures coming up all the time. It's a very vibrant community, a community that's geared to do different things, but also to innovate. And we are really proud of of our student body, because usually they did everything that we believe in, particularly our values. So it is definitely a great school to study. There's a support out there for our students, regardless of where they study. And we also have really amazing curriculum that is very adequate to students' needs, not just local but global as well. It's content that is very relevant to our students across the different areas of business as well. Very good qualified lecturers, all with different expertise in their own industry as well, not just academia. So the students that come to study at the business school will likely experience all of these different areas combined together, and they will be a lot more prepared to face a global world that is changing, particularly in business. So yes, it's a great place to be.
I'm sure it does because we have a lot of students graduating every year from University of Hertfordshire, and every year the graduates are increasing. It is just because you see the academic excellence in all kind of different opportunities that the UH School of Business is providing to our students here in Pakistan. Yes, I'm
Absolutely.
Sarina.
Yes, Leonor, I'd like to ask you about the supported distance learning provision, what it actually means, and how can we easily explain the process to the students who are interested in the degree.
Absolutely. So supported distance learning is exactly the same as blended learning. What that means is students will experience not just an online component of learning, but they will also have face-to-face sessions where they can put into practice everything that they've learned online. So it's a very low and very wholesome learning mode of delivery. Students can experience the flex of an online degree, but also at the same time have the one-to-one support from tutors that are specialized in the areas that they're teaching and have links with businesses, so they can draw from their expertise into the classroom so that students can get context that is relevant for them. It's a really, really great way of studying. As I said, it's very wholesome. The students get to experience not just a general view of business, but they also get to experience a more specific area of business that is very relevant to them locally. But at the same time, they have examples that are general, but also examples that they can link to and relate to because they are brought by those tutors in the classroom. It's an amazing way of studying as well because the students have a lot of support all throughout. Not just through us at UH, but from our partners, in particular TMUC. So the students get to experience the best of both worlds, really. It's an amazing way of studying, but obviously I'm very biased because I've been in this program for many years. But it's an amazing program. We've seen so many students graduate with so great degrees. So I'm very passionate about this mode of delivery.
That's great actually. Now, when we talk about the admissions, you see, our students from Pakistan, they take admission with us in the University of Hertfordshire. Now, what is the eligibility criteria? What is required for the students to get into a degree, a business degree from University of Hertfordshire? Yes, Tim.
So as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, 'cause I'm not someone that works too closely on the admissions side, but as I understand it, it's 70% from the HSC and an IELTS equivalent of 6 overall, with no
Okay.
band below 5.5. It has been a while since I've been involved in international admissions.
But you still remember
Um,
it, you're right.
well, actually, one of my colleagues told me about 20 minutes ago, but that's good because that shows that she was correct as well. So that's great. But yeah, I think I've got that right. Have I got that right, Leonor?
You did, yes, you did, absolutely. We tend
Okay.
to have quite a lot of students coming from a BTEC qualification
Yes.
as well. So that would obviously be one of the main qualifications that we tend to receive the most when we are admitting students for
Okay.
business.
Is that for the top
Okay,
up? Is that for
so
the
For the top
yeah,
up, yes, for the
yeah.
top up.
yeah, for the top up. We'll get into more of details about the eligibility criteria for Miss Sarina. She's going to brief us about, because you know we in Pakistan we have our own local stream as well. of education, and are those students eligible to get admission into a degree program of UH? That is one of the biggest, very comes a lot to us. A lot of queries come to us that students who have done the local stream, what is their requirement? Are they eligible to, get admission into the degree program? And even for our A-level students who come to us, what is the proficiency? Is there any English proficiency that is required? Does UH require an English test that our students need to take? So all these kind of questions, I think, ma'am, Miss Sarina would be better. She can answer us better. Yes, ma'am, Sarina.
Yes. So, Shahana, for our local stream, our students are supposed to complete the 12 years of education, which is generally, they call it metric and the intermediate. So, if they have good scores in the intermediate, that really helps in English. Most of the time, our mode of teaching is English language, but still, if they're coming from the local stream, they might have to appear for own some of the tests for the English language test proficiency, and we help them with that when they come to us. Other than that, I think as for the O levels and A level stream, we're supposed to take a student who has done a minimum of 4 O levels and 2 A levels. So as long as they fulfill that criteria, they're good to go. If the grade for English is below a C, then again we help them with the proficiency test. So that is one test which comes in handy just in case you didn't score too well in your O or A levels English subject, the modules that you took. So that's and it's a pretty straightforward criteria, and most of the Pakistani students, whether they're coming from the O and A level stream or from the local stream of metric and intermediate, they've been enrolled in this program and they've had a very successful journey. And for quite some time, we've had very good industry placements as well. So it's a very good program, and with the supported distance learning, we also, University of Hertfordshire, in collaboration with TMUC, we ensure that the program is rigorous and it is, the academics are looked after really well. So we have students, even right now, studying from both streams. So it's a really very good program and a very popular one at TMUC.
A very popular one in Pakistan, in fact, actually. And so that's good news for all the F.Sc students, for all the intermediate students, those who have, their metric and intermediate, they want to get a UK degree. TMUC, University of Hertfordshire Business School is the right choice for them. Other than that, for all the A-level students we have around, just to let them know that, if you have your 4 O-level subjects with 2 A-level subjects, so you can get into UH Business School. And yes, English proficiency in both the cases is required. If you have a C grade or a grade below C grade, then you do need to take some English proficiency tests, which is part of which is a requirement of UH. Now, moving on to Ma'am Sarina, can you just carry on?
Yes, Leonor, we have another question for you. We wanted to ask you for information of the students who are listening to us. If you could brief the course duration and the credit hours that they're supposed to go over during the whole program for like the degree program.
Sure. So the course takes about 3 years if you're starting from level 4. So that's 3 full years, 3 semesters per year. And each year carries 120 credit. You can move from each year into the next year with 90 credits, but we recommend all students to complete the 120 credits first before they move forward so that they are in a better standing. And so that things go smoothly for them. If the students start joining the top-up degree, then the top-up degree takes 1 full year to complete. That's again 3 semesters, and it carries 120 credits, plus the credits will then be APCL'd, which means that the students will have to come up with certain qualifications, which will then be accredited by us in order for them to progress into the level 6 automatically. So that's how it works.
And how rigorous do you think the assessment is for the assessment modules for UH Business? So how rigorous is it or how Can the students make it easier over the course of time and make sure that they score well and that they keep the program?
Yes, absolutely. So obviously, if the students are starting at a level 4, the difficulty of the assessments will be in line with the level 4 skill and expertise. And then as they progress, it will increase in terms of demand. Because it is the normal expectation that students progress through the different years, and then obviously things become a little bit more difficult. You don't want to make things very easy, but also you don't want to make them too hard. We do have very strict criteria that we follow that is very much aligned with the university's policies in terms of assessment. Have moderation as well on all of the assessments that is done both internally but also externally by external examiners. We have a very thorough assessment guidelines that we need to follow. When it comes to the assessments within the program, majority of the assessments are a variety of different things, from reports to group work. There is some group work because in business that's expected. You will be working in teams anyway. When students move into real work environments, they will be working in teams. So it's really important to build up on those skills. So there will be some group work, not too much, but enough to gain an understanding of what it is that working within a team kind of entails. And then you also have reports, essay writing, etc. And at the end of each unit, the students will have to take a time constraint exercise which will be supervised on campus by TMUC. This is a requirement of the AGC.
Okay, so just one more question I had in mind. UH, how do you have a proper examination system which you follow, or is it more of an assignment based or assessment based, which the students have to follow?
So it's mostly coursework based, and
Course.
there will be the examination is actually coursework based. It's a time constrained exercise that students need to do within a specific time frame, and that's supervised. But essentially, it's giving the student. It's not like in some modules there might be, for example, accounting for managers is a very logistics kind of module. You need to kind of go into the figures, and you can't really debate much about numbers. But in other modules, it could be just one or two questions that students need to develop within a specific time frame. The other pieces of work, it could be just exploring different marketing avenues for a specific business, for example, or it could be something as simple as writing a PowerPoint and doing that as a presentation, a narrated presentation. So there's a huge variety. The assessment landscape for the program is varied. And this is because we want the students to feel engaged, but also that they are doing different things as they progress through their course so that they gain skills that they will use out there when they are employed. So it's a very much a program that is focused on doing something that they can then put into practice when they leave into the real world.
So that's great because it's all mostly skill based, and for all the students out there, they need to know that you do not really need to worry about examination. You do not need to worry that by the end of the year you will be told to sit for an examination. Yes, you do need to study whole year round because you have there, they need to know that you do not really need to worry about examination. You do not need to worry that by the end of the year you will be told to sit for an examination. Yes, you do need to study whole year round because you have your rigorous assignments and coursework related projects and presentations. But nonetheless, I'm sure students are happy to hear because they really don't want to sit for a 3 hour long examination. That's something really nice to hear.
Yeah.
Lastly, over to you, Tim. Um, Students from UH, once they get a degree, a business degree, what exactly, what are the other pathways for the students? What are the placements which, UH students can get? Can you brief about that?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and one that I'm sure a lot of students are considering at the moment. I suppose I would say there's two main things that a student can do once they've graduated. One would be to go into the big world of work and get that first graduate job, All the other, which
Yeah.
is the one that we would like to encourage students to do first, is to continue with their studies and go into a postgraduate course. And we'd probably like to encourage them as a Hertfordshire student to come and study their postgraduate qualification, business, in the UK at the UK campuses. And actually, I can see behind you, Shahana, you've got two rather iconic London vehicles, the black cab and the red double-decker bus.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And actually,
Going to UK.
yeah, I feel like I'm at home, even though I am at home.
Yeah.
But it's, I think the feedback that we get from the students when they if they've done one of our programs with a partner institution like TMUC and then come over to the UK for a postgraduate course is that they love that the campuses, how big the campuses are. The university is noted for how much they invest in the facilities, and the facilities are wonderful. And I get to walk through one of the campuses on my way to my office in the mornings, and there's a lot of sports centres and shops and restaurants and cafes and also equally it's how close it is to London. Just bring it back around to those pictures behind you. Students love. I live in London. I commute up when I need to come in. It's 20 minutes on the train. It's really, really quick. And the great thing is for students who've studied an undergraduate qualification, they will qualify for an alumni discount when they move on to a postgraduate course, 20%. So that's a real incentive there to continue your studies, but also most importantly, continue your studies with the University of Hertfordshire. So and then become even more qualified and build those skills and that experience needed to take a University of Hertfordshire degree, which is appreciated around the world, into that life of into that career path. So yeah, lots of options, but we'd hope for that one the most.
You'll hope for the one where students can come to UK and study for their postgraduate, and where you're offering 20% discount scholarship for your alumni as well. That's great to hear. I believe that is it for today. We thank you very much, Leonor. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Miss
My pleasure.
Sarina. We
Thank
will
you.
be coming soon for our for virtual open house for the School of Computing as well from UH. So stay tuned, everyone. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Brilliant.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Shahana. Thank you, Serena. Thank you,
Thank
Leonor.
you very much. Thanks.
See you later.
Thanks.
See you later.